the stream is on the way right now. We're starting a little early tonight. There's a lot to talk about. We're doing a lot to talk about in the stream tonight. Let's take a look, see what the thumbnail looks like. Do I gotta make any adjustments? Hopefully not, but I might have to. Let's take a look. It looks okay. The thumbnail looks okay, guys. We're starting a little early tonight just because there's a lot to really digest and dive deep into. You might notice on the thumbnail we're going to have an unboxing tonight. Something a little different. We don't normally do it on the streams. But I talked about it last week's stream that we're going to be doing it this week. We're going to be doing an unboxing of this guy right here, the Primal Age Green Lantern figure. If you notice, if I get the light right there, perfect, good shot right there. There we go. I have my lights in the corners over here, so you might see it a little brighter. But we're going to do an unboxing of this guy right here tonight. We'll get that as the main, sort of the main event. And I want to spend about half the stream talking about this guy here, and the other half of the stream talking about Wrestlemania. Talk about my feelings about the show. Hopefully I can knock out everything in an hour. I'm really, really hoping about it tonight. And I'm going to do some cough drops. Again, still have a little bit of a cold, getting over that. Drink for tonight, and we're doing 2 drinks. We're going to do first, we're doing some IBC cream soda. And if I go through that, we're going to do some cherry Coke. That's the drinks for tonight. Hopefully it'll be a good stream. Hopefully no issues. My computer rebooted earlier today. And I'm hoping everything will be good. Let's do a test here, see how everything looks in the chat. So chat test. Make sure that shows up. Make sure everything's kosher. Come on. Come on. I think everything will be okay. I hope. I'm hoping everything will be okay. Hopefully. We'll do one more chat test here. I didn't see that show up in the chat. So we'll go 1, 2, 3 test. Make sure that's good. There we go. Now it showed up. It was a little bit of a delay to get the chat to show up. There we go. Perfect there. Hope you guys will be in chat tonight. We have a little bit to talk about. Like I said, we're going to be talking about this guy right here, the Primal Age, DC Primal Age, rather. That's going to be a full unboxing of this bad boy right here. We'll talk about that at the top of the hour. And then we're going to go into Wrestlemania, my feelings of the biggest show for WWE of the year, the Showcase of the Immortals, or the tagline they always call it. So we'll talk about that shortly. Again, drink for starting tonight, doing some IBC cream soda, which is like a root beer. It's okay. Not the greatest root beer, but it's all right. We'll kick off the show shortly. Hopefully people be involved in the stream tonight. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Maybe not a lot of people in the stream tonight, only because of Raw, which of course is usually the rowdiest Raw of the year, which is the night after WrestleMania, which I'm very much excited to watch after the stream. Hopefully it doesn't mess up anything I talk about for WrestleMania, because it could be parts of Raw that's showing right now which could contradict this portion of the stream. So I don't know that. I'd have to go by what I know, what I got out of WrestleMania. So we'll talk about that shortly. And again, when you guys come in, we're going to be doing a unboxing of this guy right here, the DC Primal Age Green Lantern. What I found out, this is a 1 per case. That's why it seemed like it was sort of rare. It's short packed. So you only get 1 per case for the Green Lantern figure. So, me being the big Green Lantern fan, he was very, very hard to track down. I've been looking at a lot of Targets that usually sell this, and many of the Targets I went to didn't have this one, because they had tons of Batman. They even did stuff where, if you look at the Batman figure here, which is this one right here, they come with one where I think it comes included, I could be wrong now, of him riding the Bat Hound. Can't remember what the Bat Hound, Ace the Bat Hound. So you see Batman riding Ace, and they have one of Skeletor riding not Skeletor, but that's because it's He-Man. They have Joker riding a mount as well. So kind of cool. I got my mind on Joker now. What's a Primal Rage figure? Primal Rage is a series of books for DC, it looks like. The storyline they have, it came out, I think it was a 100-page giant. I don't know the exact story of how it transpired because I didn't read into it, Bizarre Supergirl. But I don't know if the continuity of the same characters that we know and love has been moved to, let's say, the Renaissance time, or like a King Arthur sword and sorcery, a high fantasy sort of backdrop. So I'm making the assumption these are probably the characters we know of, just thrown into a different timeline. I'm guessing. But these are very similar to, let's say, old school Masters of the Universe. That's what they look like. If you look at the body of the figures, they look very reminiscent to, let's say, the old school He-Man figures. So we're going to crack into this guy momentarily at the top of the hour at 9 o'clock. And we're going to talk about Wrestlemania, Bizarre Supergirl. That's what we're going to be talking about in the stream tonight. Hopefully you'll be entertained. The stream might run a little bit past 30 minutes. Yeah, it kind of looks like an old knockoff. But this is a product that came out for Funko. This is a Funko licensed product. Looks like the DC Primal line is just their wave of doing sort of like a He-Man-esque body. They even have a Batcave, which is sort of like, it's like their Castle Grayskull, but it's a playset. They have that as well. I saw it at Target. They did have that at Target. I think it's like $50 or $60 for it. But again, I'm not a big He-Man guy. I got this guy only because I'm a Green Lantern fan. If they come out with other Green Lantern-esque characters, ergo, let's say, Sinestro, or if they come out with different members of the GL Corps. Hey, Jackie, thanks for coming into the chat tonight. If they come out with other characters that are reminiscent to the Green Lantern Corps, I'll probably pick up those as well. Yep, it is Funko. Here's a Funko product. But like I said, this is a property that DC has. It's one of their newer things. I think this debuted might have been at Toy Fair. I could be wrong, but I talked about this at Toy Fair. I saw the Green Lantern figures, said I have to get this one because it is Green Lantern. It is sort of like a throwback to, as I mentioned, He-Man. So let's get into it. I want to thank everyone who came into the chat tonight. Hopefully more people will come in. But because of the Raw, which is probably the rowdiest Raw the night after WrestleMania, if you're a wrestling fan, you'll probably be tuning into that. And I'll be watching that after this stream. So we're taking a look, as I mentioned before, at DC Primal Age. There is one book I know for a fact is a 100-page giant, which is a comic, which talks about all of this stuff about DC Primal Age. I guess that they use that as reference material for this line, I'm guessing. But the characters are traditional DC heroes or villains. As you can see, price point was $10.99. I got it at FYE. This was the only figure they had. This was on a toy hunt. I was looking for the Charlotte Flair pop, but I stumbled across this guy kind of by sheer accident. I was looking for this figure, but I didn't really talk about it in toy hunts. The hook already. Awesome, AA. I'm going to be watching it in about 30 to 45 minutes. No spoilers, please. But there may be some, when I talk about the WrestleMania recap, what I saw, my thoughts on it, this information may be washed because of Raw, what's happening right now. So this information may be outdated already. I'm going to talk about my feelings about the show. So let's crack into this guy right here. Again, here's the packaging for DC Primal Age Green Lantern. The green here is coming off a bit bright on camera. It's not as green as you're seeing the green parts here. So again, let's take a look at the back of the packaging. Looks very, very cool. And if you notice, there's a little bag at the feet because he comes with accessories. So let's actually crack into him. I've been wanting to tear into this guy for a while now. So we're going to open her up. I don't care about the packaging. As I mentioned before, I'm a Green Lantern fan. I really wanted this figure for a while. And let's take a look at all the stuff he comes with. He comes with his little bag of accessories. And the figure itself is literally a He-Man buck. It's very much He-Man. It's very much He-Man. Same level of articulation of a He-Man figure. So the arms will move 360. There's no in or out, no articulation. The head should spin, and it does right there. He's wearing this chain. This is a piece of plastic, sculpted. Doesn't look like it glows in the dark. He has... Thanks, AA. This is all tooled in. So if you remember the old school He-Man figures, the chest piece here is usually all sculpted in place. The older vintage ones, you could remove the harness. There'd be a clip in the back here. I think it was like right in the back, right around here. You could pop that off and remove this chest piece, which would be like a piece of plastic that would wrap around the chest. That can be removed. But if you look here, this chain can come off. is sort of another accessory. I think this may be his power battery. That's what it looks like to me. Let me kind of see if I can focus it in here so you can kind of see what it would look like. Hopefully you can see it. There it goes, right there. There's the detail. So it's just a little silver chain, a little plastic, goes over his head. So I'm assuming this is his power battery. I'm guessing. The shoulder pad can be pulled off. It's clipped in place. You'll see a clip right there. So this shoulder pauldron can be removed, and this leg armor can be removed as well. He does have a sculpted belt of the lantern symbol right there. The legs can spin 360. If you know Masters of the Universe articulation, you'll know about this. He's literally the only one I haven't found out of seeing like 150 of these at Targets. Yeah, for some weird reason, this is the hard figure to get. And of course, I didn't care. Like I said, I'm not too concerned about value, and this because I'm a Lantern fan. The leg pauldron has a clip as well right there. You may notice it. Very similar to the shoulder pauldron. It's clipped in place. So this can come off, and this can come off. I don't know how difficult it will be to put it back on, but it can be removed. He does have a ring. It is sculpted and painted right there. Hold on. Let's get it right there. Kind of get it right there so you can see it. Kind of, sort of. It's a big blotch of paint, but it's there. It is sculpted. There's detail on the ring. Does look good. So let's take a look at the accessories. He comes with a little bag of accessories. He has 3 accessories. Kind of surprising about that. We'll take a look at them one by one. I do like the accessories because they're all translucent material. And we have, first, we have a mace. It is a sculpted mace. Oh, there we go. Kind of, it's coming out very yellowish, but it is really green. He has a shield with the lantern symbol. Depending on, in my opinion, something like this, depending on how thick this clip is, this might be good to use for another figure, because it's a really cool looking shield. And of course, he has literally the He-Man battle axe. This is very similar to the He-Man battle axe. There is detail right here and right here on the head, which you can see, which has the lantern logo. I'll kind of turn it this way, it'd be easier to see. Oh, there we go. Come on, focus. Focus. Might be hard to pick it up. There it is. So right here is the lantern symbol in the top portion. Here's the bottom portion. Very cool looking axe. I like the way it looks. But he can hold all 3 of the accessories. So the shield will clip in place like that. Oh, I love me some translucent plastic. Bizarre Supergirl. Hopefully we can get him in here. Gonna try my best to... There we go. There it goes. Nice. And then this is very similar to He-Man style weaponry. Hopefully I don't break it. I'm trying to get it in his hand here. Without breaking it. Let me try to switch it and see if I can... Whoop! I lost his necklace. Let's try that again here. All your cups are translucent. That's awesome. Okay, there we go. Got the mace in this hand. The grip seems to be a little bit loose. There we go. Let's try the axe in this hand. Hopefully we can get it in. I'm going to have to pry the hand a little bit open to get it in. To wrap the hand around. What I'm seeing here, and the hand is a little bit on the loose side. We'll put the shield in place. So you can hold all 3 accessories, and that's one of the things I really like. I've talked about before in many, many videos. I hate having accessories that go missing. So here's him all armored up. And very similar to the back packaging here. And it's really weird because the back of it shows him with the shield in his back. Right there. I don't know if you can see it. Pretty cool. And that's what it would look like with him all armored up. Like the way it looks. This hand's weapon stayed pretty good. This one's a little on the loose side. At least from what I'm seeing here. But it's very similar how he has it here. Which is weird because you would think there'd be a spot to peg the shield in place. But because the shield clips just to the wrist, that's about the best you can get out of it. But he looks good. Like the way it looks. Rainbow Optimus is here. Can only watch the stream for a few minutes because I'm going out of town. No problem, Rainbow. Sounds good to me, dude. Meek Comes, the right people won, but WrestleMania was a fan service show. Yeah, it was, Meek. Absolutely. But it looks good. Looks very, very good. Most of his armor can be removed. As I mentioned, there's clips on the shoulder and clips on the leg pauldron. I do like how the shield hooks in. I wish the battle axe was a bit longer. The handle's rather short. Yep, Green Lantern's all armored up. But again, the picture on the back of the packaging, if we look on the back of the packaging, right here, it looks like that how Hal, or Green Lantern, can wear the shield on his back. So there's no way to really do that with this figure, because it's one simple clip. So you can't like hook it to his back that I see here. There's no back peg to hook the shield on his back, which would have been a very cool idea if they would have done something like that. But all things considered, I think it looks very good. This axe though should have been longer. It should have been the length of this mace. But he looks good all armored up. Like the way he looks. Again, this is the DC Primal Age. I tore open the packaging, so that's what we're looking at right now, guys. DC Primal Age, Green Lantern. So, very happy about this figure. Looks very, very cool. We talked about the articulation. The arms can swivel around 360. The head will spin 360. The legs can spin 360, but there's no ankle articulation. There's no wrist articulation. It's old school. It's old school He-Man articulation. If you're familiar with the old school He-Man articulation from Mattel, this is very similar to it. So that's the DC Primal Age. Now let's talk about WrestleMania. So let's talk WrestleMania, guys. In my opinion, what I thought of WrestleMania. WrestleMania, to me, was a good show. Meek just touched base on it real quick. There was a lot of fan service. First thing is first, the show ran too long. 7.5 hours is way too much wrestling, in my honest opinion. Way too much wrestling. We had NXT on Friday. You would have had G1 Supercard on Saturday, or if you watched the WWE Hall of Fame, one of the two, and you had WrestleMania on Sunday. There was way too much wrestling this weekend. Way too much wrestling. So let's just kind of touch base of what happened. I started watching it at about 5 o'clock. I watched at the kickoff show. So from 5 o'clock till 12:30, I watched the entire event. Around 8 o'clock, my girl came over, and we were watching it together. So she's coming up from the perspective of someone who doesn't know a whole lot about wrestling. I didn't watch the Hall of Fame AA. I heard what happened with Bret Hart. Drink tonight, guys, is IBC cream soda. I heard what happened. But I'm watching the beginning portions of G1 Supercard right now. I watched NXT. It was a great show. Loved it. WrestleMania was good. I think it was probably one of the best WrestleManias they've had in a long, long, long time. I agree, Rainbow. It was too much wrestling. The show, they probably could have gotten away with that show being 5 hours. Easily 5 hours. Hey, Kat, thanks for coming in the stream tonight. We just did a review for this guy right here, the DC Primal Age Green Lantern figure. This is a new sort of figure. Very reminiscent to the old school, really old school He-Man figures. This is kind of what it looks like. If you know He-Man articulation, what they look like, this is very similar to old school He-Man. So we're talking about WrestleMania now. The show was too long to begin with. Kickoff show was 2 hours. You had Buddy Murphy against Tony Nese. I don't watch any of the 205 Live stuff ever since Pac or Neville left. Tony Nese got the win, which was kind of odd. I talked about that Buddy Murphy should have retained. Then we had both battle royals, both men's and women's. Women's battle royal was okay. Sarah Logan got down to the very end of it. Personally speaking, if you want my honest opinion, there's a reason why Carmella won. If you're not familiar, the reason she's dating one of the announcers. She's dating Corey Graves. I think that's the reason why she won the Women's Royal Rumble. Not because of her skill or how remarkable she is. It's because that she's dating somebody who has some leverage. I haven't seen her on 205 Live, Bizarre Supergirl. Then we had the men's battle royal. We had the two guys from SNL in there. They kind of weaseled out at the beginning of the match. Braun Strowman, of course, was knocking guys out left and right. And he got the two SNL guys at the very end. Yep. Yeah, they always do some type of screwy ending, Meek. It's horrible how they do that one, but I think the reason why they did it this way to have Carmella win is because she's dating Corey Graves. Not because of her merit in the ring or how good she is in the ring, but who she's sleeping with. That's my personal opinion. Next, we had, of course, as I mentioned, the men's battle royal. I keep saying Baron. Braun Strowman won it because they wanted to do fan favor to the SNL guys. They had a little screwy ending at the end with the Hardy Boys, almost getting Braun Strowman out. But now Braun is a winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We had on the card I'm going to try to run down kind of the order it happened in. The beginning of the show was kind of odd because the kickoff, you had Alexa Bliss and Hogan. And what I've heard through the grapevine, through the dirt sheets, is that Hogan and Alexa Bliss didn't know that Paul Heyman was coming out. That's when they had kind of a little dumb look on their face. There's going to be a lot of spoilers here, guys, so let you know that now. No problem, Rainbow. Thanks for coming in for a little while. Check me out on the video on demand later tonight. Basically, Hogan and Alexa Bliss did not know this was going to happen. Paul Heyman came to the ring saying, you have an ultimate solution happening in Nevada, which would basically mean that Brock was going to leave, or hinting at it. Seth Rollins came out with this whole Beast Slayer kind of logo, and it was literally a brawl on the outside for a few minutes. It was a low blow, and 3 curb stomps later, and Seth Rollins picks up the win, which probably means that Brock is gone. But again, this may be redundant, what I'm talking about, because I'm not watching Raw right now, so I don't know what's going on. Please, no spoilers. I'll watch it. I have it on video. I'm recording it right now on my DVR. That's what I'm looking for, DVR. The drink tonight is IBC cream soda. Then we had, I believe, I could be wrong on the match order. I could be wrong here. We had, I think on the pre-show, we also had Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder against the Revival, which is a damn shame because Revival, in my opinion, is a throwback to the old school WCW days, NWA tag teams. Teams that actually really tag each other when they get into the ring. They don't slap each other on the back. I know that Jim Cornette goes crazy about that. Yeah, the stage was very, very long this year, Meek. It was a long ramp. It looked like they had kind of garbage bags on the floor. I don't know if it was like if it was glass with like some black material on the bottom of it. It looked, maybe because of the weather, I'm guessing, but it looked really weird. You had Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder against the Revival. Kurt Hawkins, if you're not familiar, had a losing streak of 269 matches. Him and Zack Ryder were one-time tag champions years ago, and they pinned the Revival, which is a damn shame. Again, I don't know what's going on with Raw right now. They might change this somewhere in tonight's show. We had that. We had Carmella. We had Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins. Next, we had AJ Styles and Randy Orton. Good match. No belts on the line. No championship. More of like a matter of respect match. AJ kind of faked out Orton. It was a very, very good match. I was very happy with the match. AJ kind of, near the end of that match, he kind of jumped up for the phenomenal forearm and kind of hesitated up there, even though he kind of faked out Orton. But it looked a little sloppy from AJ's perspective at the end of this match. It wasn't the crisp AJ Styles that we normally see. And I'm a big AJ Styles fan. So it looked a little bit off there. Good match, though. AJ picked up the win. Usos versus Aleister Black, Ricochet, Rusev, Shinsuke Nakamura, and The Ba. Unfortunately, during this match, my girl came over. Not unfortunately in a bad way, but unfortunately during this match, I was having disconnect issues a lot with the WWE Network. I think during this entire pay per view, I got thrown off the network. I think 5 times I was thrown off. The stream would the channel would lock up. Yeah, she's intoxicated right now. She has some demons going on right now. AA. So there was a point in the pay per view where I got thrown off the network about 5 times, and near the end when I came back the last time, the Usos music was playing, so I assumed they won, and that's what happened. The Usos picked up the win there. I watched some of the match. I know that Cesaro had a long Cesaro swing for like a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes of just spinning around Ricochet. It was a good match from what I saw. Again, the network cut out on me. I'm not going to go back and rewatch it right now. I have too much stuff I have to watch. I got to watch G1 Supercard later on this week. I want hopefully it'll be a good show. I've watched the beginning of the Battle Royal, which they call the Honor Rumble. I saw that one already, but I'm going to be watching G1 Supercard throughout the week. I have cough drops, and again, drink of choice is IBC cream soda. Then we had, I think this might be out of order. Hopefully it's not. It's not. I think this is in order. Shane McMahon against The Miz. A Falls Count Anywhere match. I actually really enjoyed this match. My girl wasn't invested in it because she knew a little bit about Shane, but she was kind of making fun of The Miz a little bit. But the end spot, which is they were brawling and just brawling and brawling throughout the entire arena, was on top of like a set piece where there was a camera set there. You knew that during this match somehow Shane would go off something high. Even Mizdad got involved in the match. It was hilarious where Mizdad went against Shane, and Shane actually went to Mizdad because Mizdad had his hands up like he was going to punch him. Shane actually took his hands and moved them up like he was going to try to fight, and just beat the heck out of Mizdad. It was kind of funny. What part of WrestleMania did I miss? I missed the the portion of the Uso match because the network kept cutting off. I know who won it, but I think it ended with a double super kick and a splash from both Usos. But that was because the network cut out on me. I did like the end of it. As I said, there was a set piece at the end for the Shane and Miz match where they're climbing up and brawling, and it's like a camera tower, and Miz superplexed Shane off of this tower into this, it was a preset, like very soft platform that Shane and Miz fell on during the superplex, and just conveniently Shane was on top of Miz at the end. Oh, the double splash from Samus, very cool, eh? I know there was a double splash, but I didn't see it because the network cut out on me, and just because of attrition and kind of just because of just dumb luck, Shane won the being best in the world, which is still a joke in my honest opinion. Good match. I thought it was a very good match. It was as far as a wrestling match, it wasn't a highly technical wrestling match, but it was entertaining to watch. Then we had the Iconics versus Boston Hug Connection versus Nia Jax versus the Divas of Doom, Beth Phoenix and Natalya. Again, my connection got cut out on this match too, but I saw the ending of it. You had Beth Phoenix holding up Bayley in the double arm chicken wing off the top rope, and there was again that silly slap where it's not really a tag. I know Jim Cornette goes crazy about this, and in my opinion, I can understand why he doesn't like it. It's not tag team wrestling when you slap someone on the back. When you slap someone on the shoulder, it's not a tag. You're not reaching out to your partner and tagging them. You're slapping somebody to get into the ring. It's very, very awkward. And for someone who likes tag team wrestling like myself, I mean, I grew up with the Midnight Express, with the Rock and Roll Express, with the British Bulldogs, with classic tag team wrestling, with the Road Warriors. This is a Demolition. This is not tag team wrestling what we're seeing nowadays, guys. And I hate to harp on what Jim Cornette talks about, but I kind of agree what he says. A tag is someone tagging. You don't slap someone on the shoulder. You don't slap them on the back. That's not a tag. That's why I like the Revival. The Revival is a throwback to the old NWA guys. And this one, no, my stream was horrible. Um, then we had the basically Billy Kay stole the belts, and the Iconics are your new women's tag team champions. I thought when I was talking my predictions that Sasha and Bayley would retain, but no, they wanted to put the belts on Iconics, which is fine by me. I think that's a good idea. Then we had Kofi Kingston and the New Day against Daniel Bryan and, of course, Rowan at ringside. Now, there's a blink and you'll miss moment, and my girl was here and I pointed out to her really quickly. Near ringside, if you would have looked very, very quickly, there was a black table with a tarp on top of the table. It was sort of covering the top of a belt. I even told her, Kofi's going to win this match. She said, how do you know that? I said, because they just screwed up and showed the table with a belt on top. Daniel Bryan's belt was still around his waist because he didn't come out to the ring yet. So this is bad photography, bad position by the camera who picked this up. If you're an eagle-eyed fan, it was literally there for about 3 or 4 seconds. It is, Meek, I disagree. It's still not tag team wrestling. Even in a fatal 4-way, I still think it's a bad idea. It's not a tag. You're tagging somebody else in by slapping them. Just because you do it for one match doesn't mean you can do it for another. You're consistent. You got to be consistent with what you do. You can't just change the rules whenever you see fit. That's not good booking. That's not good storytelling. That's not good following the rules that you establish. Excuse me. That's very, very poor design and booking, in my honest opinion. So, as I mentioned, blink and you miss it moment. There's a black tarp covering a belt. I even told her that you're gonna miss it. The Hawkins and Ryder match was okay. It was an okay match. I enjoyed it. But I wanted the Revival to keep the belts. They shouldn't have pulled the belts off of them. They're a good tag team. They're already in negotiations to leave WWE. They're supposed to be the main integral portion of their tag team division. You don't need to have them chasing the belts. They're the bad guys. They should hold the belts. They're like, as I mentioned, a throwback to NWA. They're like a modern-day Midnight Express, in my honest opinion. And I love me some Midnight Express. Kofi was the underdog, chasing the belt. We had invested in the story. He was in submissions. It was a long, grueling match. And this was the right course of action. Again, Meek brought up a point of fan service. This was a huge amount of fan service where Kofi Kingston picked up the win. Of course, Big E pointed out he had a box, and prior to the match going on, they had some brand New Day swag that they had. New Day of Kofi having a belt. So they already spoiled it there. They spoiled it on TV. They just dropped the ball 100%. Oh, I can see that happening, Bizarro. Very similar to Midnight Express then. I don't know how many lawsuits Jim Cornette got in for hitting fans with tennis rackets or his guys getting in fights with fans. All the time it happened. But Kofi picked up the win, and they went quickly to the ringside, and the belt that was put on top of the table, they pulled off the hemp belt, and underneath it, you saw that black cloth I was talking about. They pulled it off, and was the leather-strapped original WWE Heavyweight Championship belt with the Kofi logos. Now, this would have been a perfect opportunity to kind of retweak the belt, because I know that they're talking about they wanted the belt to look like a Universal Championship belt, but a blue leather strap instead of the red Universal belt. I know that they're talking about bringing that belt in. Hey, Leo, thanks for coming into the chat tonight. So, Kofi picked up the win. Very, very happy about that. Samoa Joe against Rey Mysterio. This match ended in 1 minute. I believe the reason why this match ended was because of Rey Mysterio's ankle injury. I can only make that as an assumption, or they're running short on time and they had to cut their match extremely short. I think it was the latter than it was the former. I think Rey Mysterio is hurt. He came out in a Mysterio designed piece of garb, like Mysterio from Spider-Man. In his indie, when he was doing the indie stuff for New Japan, for Ring of Honor, for AAA Mexico, and for Lucha Underground, he actually came out with a Wolverine outfit on. I think it was under All In. It was a Wolverine-inspired outfit I believe it was the brown and yellow outfit. Looks very, very cool. But Joe choked out Mysterio in 1 minute. I can see why they did it if they had to cut it for time, or if Ray was hurt, that's why they did that. Next we had Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre. My girl fell asleep during this match. She was not invested at all in this match. I thought it was a good match. It was bragging rights. She was in here earlier, Leo. I don't know if she's still in now. I think she is. Yeah, but he messed up his ankle on the prior SmackDown. So I think the leg was messed up. He looked like when Ray came off the top rope and Joe put him in the Conquista clutch, it looked like he kind of paused for a second and put him in the hold. It looked like the timing was a little off, but that probably was the ending. I can only assume. Roman Drew, it was good to see Roman come back with a win. It would have been nice having Roman giving chase to Drew. They could have built it up even more and have Roman win tonight on Raw, which I think might have been a better idea to keep that whole thing where Roman was hungry and wants to go after Drew. I think it might have been a better idea going that way. So that was a good match in my opinion, but my girl fell asleep. She actually dozed off during that match. Next we had Triple H and Batista. Again, here my stream cut off. I know at the beginning of Triple H's entrance, it had stuff to do with Mad Max. Took way too long for him to come out to the ring. Batista coming into the match was funny. He botched his entrance. He came in during the ropes and he fell. He tripped. So it was kind of odd. He has issues getting in the ring. It was a very, very brutal match. Probably the brutal spot of the night was, of course, Triple H with the needle nose pliers ripping out the nose ring out of Batista's nose. That was very, very brutal. My girl was kind of squinching away from the screen. Made the hemp belt. There's a bunch online available. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Because of the whole Daniel Bryan stuff. Triple H got the win. He's not retiring. This was Batista's last match. He did say that he's done. He's gone. He's no more wrestling. Brutal match. Lasted way too long. I think it was a 25 minute match. Hold on, I got running time here. 24 minutes and 45 seconds. Way too long. Way too long. Let me make sure the Mysterio match was exactly 1 minute. The Mysterio match was 1 minute. Roman was 10 minutes, 10 seconds. Triple H 24 minutes. Baron Corbin against Kurt Angle. This was surprising. I don't know why they went this route. I don't understand why it should not have been Kurt Angle. Literally, the ending of that match was a fart in the wind because Baron Corbin beat Angle. Angle wanted to put Baron over. I know that for a fact. But literally the arena was silent. You could have heard a pin drop. It was the wrong person, the wrong finish. It was just bad. One thing I kind of glossed over was near the middle of the event, you had Elias doing his little Elias thing in the ring. He also was on the Titantron. They had Elias playing drums, Elias playing piano. So they did the pre-tapes on this. He was playing in the ring with all of them playing together. And then you hear music hit, you think you're untouchable, and the word light comes out with the John Cena Thugonomics music. He comes out, starts rapping on Elias. It was very cool, him being like a heel turn. Really liked that, thought it was cool. He does, Captain Rex. But I think in this particular match, he was hurt because of prior SmackDown. I think he either twisted his ankle or hurt himself. I don't know how bad it was. It was some type of ankle injury that happened the prior week. That's what caused that issue. The Elias segment was very funny. If you guys have not seen it yet, check a look at it on YouTube. It's hilarious. Next we had, of course, that match ended. That was Kurt Angle's farewell match. Again, Baron Corbin shouldn't have won it. It should have been somebody else. Why Kurt wanted to put Baron Corbin up? There was a lot of backlash. So I don't know if it was Kurt's idea or the office's idea. I can't tell you because I don't know. Finn Balor against Bobby Lashley. My girl never saw Finn Balor in the demon gear, the demon makeup. It looked cool. I love the way he looks. He was up in the air at the beginning, and they brought him to the ground. He looked cool. And his name is John Cena. Yes, very much so. But the demon gear, you also had Bobby Lashley coming out with these yellow, like, cat eye contacts. He looks a lot cooler with those yellow eyes. They should keep that. I thought that looked very, very cool. This was really one-sided offense from Finn Balor when he's in the whole demon gear. He did pick up the win. He's your new IC champion. Next, of course, the main event. First ever women's main event, WrestleMania. Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. Winner take all. The winner gets both the women's belt for Raw and the women's belt for SmackDown. So, of course he is Bizarro Supergirl. He didn't really age well compared to the 2002 John Cena. This one was riddled by a lot of issues people have talked about. And I'll talk about that. The finish was the main problem. This match lasted 21 minutes, 30 seconds. This was well after midnight, how long this match went for. Of course, Ronda Rousey came out with Joan Jett, bad reputation. Charlotte Flair came in, back with her dad's entrance. I think it was Great American Bash, where he came in with a helicopter, reminiscent to his old entrance. Captain Rex. Becky didn't have a special entrance, which was fine by me. The biggest problem, I mean, they had a lot of submissions in this match. You had a lot of people, there was a lot of brawling, a lot of strikes. The biggest issue, and then we'll end the stream tonight, guys, was the finish of the match. From what I've heard, listening to Meltzer talked about this, Wrestling Observer has talked about the finish went as planned. Originally, the idea was for Becky to win this match, but Becky to put a submission on Ronda. But because Ronda's background, she has never been submitted in judo, never been submitted in MMA, they wanted to keep that mystique going with her. And they didn't want to have her submitted. It was kind of 50-50 in the booking committee. They decided to have her pinned. The pin came with, of course, the Piper's Pit got transitioned into, which is sort of like a judo throw. We got transitioned into a crucifix pin. The problem is it was botched on the pin. If you watch the replay, again, I watched it last night. I didn't watch Raw now because it's happening right now. There was a 1 count. The 2 count, Ronda's shoulder was up. The 3 count, her shoulder was down. Her shoulder should have been down the entire time. I don't know if Becky couldn't hook her right or if Ronda didn't let her to be hooked right. The finish was a little bit awkward compared to Kofi's finish, which was clean. Middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3, no questions asked. This one, you have some speculation, some wiggle room, where WWE could say, or Ronda could argue, listen, my shoulders weren't down, you didn't pin me. Was this intentional, or was this a botch? That's where people's kind of halfway, 50-50 on right now. They're not entirely sure if it was scripted to get her shoulder up, or was it legitimately botched where it shouldn't have been up the whole time. So, that was my rundown of WrestleMania. I thought it was a good show. I could probably talk for another 30 minutes about this, but I want to end it kind of new here, so. I wouldn't doubt it, I wouldn't doubt it if the botch was on purpose. They might have talked about that in the booking committee, but there's a lot of talk where it was a botch and not planned. So that's the idea. Again, I want to thank everyone who came into the stream tonight. Again, we did a opening for this guy right here, the Green Lantern DC Primal Age figure. If you're familiar with He-Man figures, this is very similar to a He-Man-esque figure. Same level of articulation. You have translucent items. You have a mace in this hand right here, a battle axe in this hand right here, and a cool-looking shield. The shoulder and leg armor can be removed, but if you like old school He-Man design, this is a new figure, just came out fairly recently. This is a harder to get figure. This is 1 per case. And that's it tonight, guys. I want to thank everyone who came into the stream tonight. I want to thank everybody who decided to participate. I want to thank you all again for watching and subscribing to the channel. And I'm going to cut the stream tonight in 3, 2, 1. Take care, guys, and bye-bye. Night-night.